Whenever you run a query, the order in which the results come in is what's known as a natural sort. Oftentimes, this is either the exact order you entered the records in the table, or other times, it's in the order by the ID that you've set up. Now, we can change the way we look at the data without changing the way the data is physically sorted. All we need to do is put an order by clause and then pick the field you want to sort on. Let's sort on the last name alphabetically. Notice the last names of Adams, Bender, Brown, and so forth until we get to the last name of Smith is displayed. This didn't change the order in which the table is actually saved. If you were to select just the query without the order by, you see the original natural sort of the table. What if I wanted a descending sort? In other words, show me the result sets on last name sorted from Z to A instead of A to Z. The query would be the same, except I would append a DESC, which is short for descending, and then run the query. Notice Smith appears first and Adams appears last. How about sorting date fields? Let's look at this exact result set. Notice we have one record from the 1980s, a bunch of records from the 90s, and even more records from the year 2000 and later. Let's use our higher date field with our order by clause by going order by and then type higher date and run it. Which one shows up first? The oldest one from 1989, or lowest one, comes first, and the newest one or highest one from 2007 comes last. Using what we learned, if we use a descending sort, we will get our most recent employee on the top and our longest serving employee on the bottom. Let's investigate how sorting works with null data as well as populated data. Let's run this query, and let's look at the location ID. Now, the lowest location ID we have is 1, and the highest is 4. So if I decide to order by the location ID, what's coming up first and what's coming up last? The reality is, null always sorts before any data. So the null record comes first, and then the ones, and then the twos, and so forth. If we did a descending sort, the nulls come last. When it comes time to choosing a field to sort on, here's a rule that can give you all the freedom in the world. You can sort on any field from any table in your query, even if you later decide not to show that field in the report. Now let's use an example so this is really clear. It's easiest to start off with a query that shows all fields and all records like this one. Now let's create a seniority report by saying order by higher date. Sally's been here the longest, Eric got here fairly recently, and we are now going to show just a few fields. Let's do first name, last name, and higher date. And there's your seniority report. But let's say your exact higher date is kind of like your birthday. It's considered to be somewhat personal. We don't want to or are not allowed to post that. So we want a seniority report that is sorted on higher date, but does not show higher date. I'm going to get rid of that field and sort it. Notice the order by is choosing the higher date field from the employee table, regardless of what you have listed in your select statement. So you can sort by fields even if you choose not to show those fields in the result set. How about sorting a result set from multiple tables? This query joins the employee table to the location table. Now I could decide to sort by the last name, which comes from the employee table, or the city, which comes from the location table. Pick whatever field you want in that query and you get to sort it. Let me start off by sorting by city. Let's say order by city. And we see we have the 3 Boston employees listed first, the 6 Seattle employees listed second, and the 2 Spokane employees listed after that. Within these Boston records, Which employee is listed first? Well, the one with the lowest ID, because that's the natural sort of the table. Within the tie between Seattle, we see the lowest employee ID sorted the highest. Well, what if you wanted to have all of the Boston employees grouped together alphabetically, and all of the Seattle employees grouped together alphabetically? Let's do a secondary sort on last name. And notice the Boston employees are sorted alphabetically, and then comes the Seattle employees. In their group, they're sorted alphabetically. Same holds true for Spokane. Time for Lab 2.1 on sorting data. Skill check 1. Show all records from the grant table sorted alphabetically by grant name. When you're done, your results should resemble the figure you see here. Skill check 2. Show all fields from the employee table. The most recent hire date should appear first. When you're done, your results should resemble the figure you see here. Skill check 3. Query the current products table for just the product name and category fields. Sort the table by the most expensive retail price on the top and the least on the bottom. When you're done, your results should resemble the figure you see here. Skill check 4. Sort all the fields of the grant table from highest to lowest amount. If any grants have a tying amount, then list the ties alphabetically by grant name. When you're done, the results should resemble the figure you see here. Skill check 5. Join the employee and location tables together in an outer join. Show all of the employee records even if they have no location. Show just the first name, last name, and city fields. Sort your result so that null city names appear first and the remaining values appear in ascending order. When you're done, the results should resemble the figure you see here.